Hello and welcome to Implement Risk-Based Vulnerability Management with Qualys TruRisk webinar. In this webinar, we'll cover how to operationalize Qualys TruRisk and get the risk-based vulnerability management. It will help you to quantify cyber risk so that you can accurately measure it, take steps to reduce exposure, track risk reduction trend over time, and better measure the effectiveness of your cybersecurity program. According to NVD, 51% of the total vulnerabilities are categorized as critical and high. However, not all vulnerabilities in the CVSS score bucket needs equal or high attention. Many organizations have mandate around fixing critical and high, and fixing this is not an easy task without having context like exploitation, trending, malware, and threat actors exploiting them. In the last 5 years, the number of vulnerabilities reported has been greater than the year before, and there has been 40% increase. According to NVD, the number of vulnerabilities reported in 2022 raised by 25% as compared to 2021, and in just almost 1 month around 2k vulnerabilities are detected in 2023. Qualys research teams does a detailed analysis of vulnerabilities, and we deeply understand which vulnerabilities are exploited. If you see, the universe is around 190k, and out of which these are the number of percentage of vulnerabilities we found are exploitable. We have seen the increase in exploitable by ransomware in the last year. The less than 1% of vulnerabilities are really that matters, and these are the important vulnerabilities that needs to be concentrated and we should be worked on priority. Taking a risk-based approach to focus on the most critical vulnerabilities will completely change the game. Here are some of the challenges security teams are facing today. As mentioned earlier, CVSS score lacks the threat context and they are not able to meet their SLA around fixing high and critical vulnerabilities. Prioritization today is ununiformed and lacks business and asset context like criticality, location, what installed on the assets, what are the compensating control. Vulnerabilities and their exploits are increasing. Organizations has a hard time to keep it up with the remediation. Lastly, the silo tools and the teams using them does not talk to each other, are creating blind spot. Let's see how Qualys TruRisk can help here. The important thing is to get visibility of all assets across your organizations. You cannot protect if you cannot see it. We recently released external attack surface management, which helps you to detect the external facing assets. For VM scanning, it should be quick and comprehensive. We have a comprehensive vulnerability database of more than 70k plus vulnerabilities, and on a daily basis new vulnerabilities are getting added. Also, we release supports of newer vulnerabilities within 24 hours, and within 4 hours will help you to detect them. Prioritization plays a vital role in VM programs, and TruRisk helps you to prioritize up to 85+% fewer vulnerabilities. Through our integrated patch management, on an average 40% faster remediation for critical vulnerabilities. Easy to integrate with your ecosystems to make detection flow easier into your ecosystem. Risk and data are directly proportional. To provide a comprehensive risk assessment, TruRisk takes into account multiple factors like asset context, its criticality, type of assets, location, who has access to it. Then we access them from vulnerabilities, end of life, end of service, misconfiguration, compensating controls, malware infections, and so forth. With TruRisk, organization can continuously monitor their risk posture and take data-driven actions. TruRisk helps you to prioritize 85+% fewer vulnerabilities and helps you to focus on what matters and also expedites the mean time to remediate. Focus the risk that matters instead of CVSS score that provide little actionable context, bombard teams with alerts, and spread security team thin. Another example with TruRisk help is to prioritize based on the threat intelligence and exploitable information, not only for high and critical vulnerability but also for mediums and lows. The red dot represents here the CISA known exploit vulnerabilities, and the graph shows approximately 11% of CISA known vulnerabilities that has the CVSS score less than 7%. This would have been missed if you just prioritize based on the CVSS critical and high. The TruRisk helps you to prioritize up to 85% pure vulnerabilities, and combining it with Qualys integrated patch management help you to fix critical vulnerabilities within just 7 days, as compared to others who are taking fixing or mean time to remediate is 30 days. LFAC has been an early adopter of TruRisk and has been successfully in improving their security posture by reducing the risk by 55% with Qualys TruRisk. Let's deep dive into how you can leverage TruRisk to reduce the risk in your organization. The first steps to identify is the cron jewels, using cybersecurity asset management to set the asset criticality properly. Qualys CSAM makes it easy to identify the cron jewels. If you're using Qualys to manage the asset, then you can configure the dynamic tags with asset criticality and the data collected by CSAM to dynamically manage the risk. If you're using ServiceNow CMDB, then bring the business context from the CMDB and then define the dynamic tags based on your business context and then assign the asset criticality. So considering the case, if you're using only Qualys for asset management, then you can create the static and dynamic tags based on the details of that asset that is currently collected for that asset in CSAM, and based on that you can define the rules of dynamic tag, and then you can assign the criticality based on that particular asset, and you can do all the things based through our APIs as well. Also, if you're using CMDB to maintain the maintain the best IT practices for the asset management, and then you can create the connectors to sync the data from Qualys to ServiceNow first, and then you create a connector to sync the data from CMDB to Qualys to bring the business context of that Qualys assets. And the best part is Qualys provides out of the box mapping of configuration items and hardware that makes the things more easier, and that makes you the sync within few days itself. You can bring the business context of all the Qualys assets from the CMDB. So based on this kind of business context, you can define the dynamic tags, and you can set the right criticality based on the business context. Qualys Unified Dashboard provides you a complete organization security postures, helps you to visualize and measure risk, that guides you to target action to mitigate the risk. We'll go into details on how to interpret Qualys TruRisk during the demo. The VMDR prioritization helps you to prioritize and deploy patches for high risk vulnerabilities by providing a risk-based view and by giving a default view to high and severe TruRisk score assets. Qualys VMDR 2.0 and Qualys TruRisk and Qualys Patch Management can help streamline and automate the focused remediate process by providing risk-based prioritization of vulnerabilities and mapping them to the appropriate patches. The prioritization reports allows you to view all the prioritized vulnerabilities and their correlated patches, and you can create a new patch job or add to it existing patch job for individual vulnerabilities or in bulk. It is important to have an automated patch management process in place to ensure that vulnerabilities are remediated in timely and effective manner. Zero-touch patch management jobs helps you to achieve it. The important thing in asset management is you cannot manage what you can't see. Qualys Cybersecurity Asset Management is built to enable you to effectively apply security context to your IT inventory. It starts with the fundamental ability to collect and define the inventory and then add the relevant data to solve the frequently security use cases. In the CSAM homepage, you will be able to get a snapshot of your overall environment and configure your environment. It is a useful baseline point to start with. Also, you can create the dashboard, your own dashboard, that helps you to get the summary of your inventory from multiple perspectives. which is critical for your IT and security programs. As an asset management security team, I want to see how the assets are being organized, like for example how many assets are managed, unmanaged, how the managed assets have been distributed, again the external facing assets, again the external facing assets which are running at end of life, again the assets distribution based on the geolocations, their category breakdown, the asset criticality, the endpoints, the how many database servers I have, how many web servers I have, how many cloud assets I have, the distributions of the cloud assets, the softwares, the category of the softwares, the end of life and end of service of that particular applications, and also the unauthorized applications which are running on that particular set of assets as well. So let's focus on the asset criticality, and here is the widget that provides me the details of asset criticality that has been defined in my organization. Let's go and let's see in the asset with criticality 5. So these are the list of assets with criticality 5, and here you can see the sources. It has been detected through the CMDB, it has been detected through the CSAM, and also from the GCP connector as well. So if you're leveraging CMDB in your organizations to support your IT service management practice, then CSAM enables your organizations to easily bring asset and context data together, allowing you to operationalize your CMDB in days instead of months, using our CMDB Sync connector apps, which helps you, which is available on the ServiceNow marketplace. So let's see how the asset criticality is been set for this asset. The criticality needs to be assigned at the tag level, and based on the tag associated to that asset, the criticality is get evaluated. So here the asset has multiple tags associated. The high criticality will be considered, which is 5. So based on this tags, the few of the aspects you can review is like, this is the production, this is the web Windows server which is related to, which is running on the production environment, and also which is running the business service banking service application, which is a business context that I'm getting it through the CMDB Sync. So to get the more details of the business information, you can go into the asset details, and in business information tab you'll get all the respective details which has been synced through the CMDB. And from the security point of view, I can see here this is again the data center which is running which is running unauthorized software, and again end of life of application has been running on this particular assets. So this is the dynamic risk which I was referring, dynamic risk evaluation that I was referring in the presentation. All the tags which we discuss right now are the dynamic tags, and which gets evaluated on every scans, and that provides you the latest risk posture for the particular assets. And if you're not using CMDB, then you can leverage you can leverage the data collected by CSAMs and configure the tag accordingly. So let's create one dynamic tag, and let's dynamic tag to check if any end of life or end of service OS is running on any of the server, and if found, then automatically assign the tag and increase the criticality to 5, which helps to bring these assets into your radar to take remediation action. Like for, let's create server criticality 5, and then see critical score as 5, and then see dynamic, and then I see go into the rules, and I select asset inventory, and I my query which says operating system as server, end of life, and the category is server. I can select this, like whenever I create a rule, the evaluation should happen at that time itself. So I need to create. So the tag will create, it gets evaluated. So once you define the tags and criticality, then respective asset criticality will be set, and after that, whenever scan happens, the TruRisk will get evaluated. And also, if you have the tags which already are not the criticality defined, you can just edit it, and you can just say, hey, here asset criticality, and then you can say you can set the criticality as this is AWS tags. I'll go and I'll set as 3, and you just say save, or you can evaluate, select, and then accordingly the criticality will be set for that particular tag. So now once the criticality has been set for that assets, then whenever scan happens, that the evaluation will happen for that particular assets. So the TruRisk evaluation will happen whenever scan happens for that particular assets. And the best way to visualize the risk across your organization is by leveraging the Qualys unified dashboard and the TruRisk widgets. The TruRisk widget helps organization quickly quantify the risk across the infrastructure, and track infrastructure, also access high risk assets and take actions to remediate the risk, and also take risk reductions over time. So this dashboard provides you the complete organizational level security posture in a single pane of glass, and these are the counts that helps you to take targeted action toward reducing the organization risk. So all critical assets, all critical detections for which the Qualys patch is available, again the critical assets and the critical detections and which has been detected more than last 30 days, and the assets which have not been scanned since last 30 days. And this is the risk widgets of the organizational. It provides an organizational level risk posture. This is the overall cloud. It provides the overall cloud true risk posture, and also it provides the external facing assets or external attack surface risk posture for that organization point of view. So like I have the internal as well as external risk posture, and also I get the risk posture based on my geolocation that helps me to allocate my resources accordingly and plan the remediation actions. And this is another critical widgets that helps me to high risk vulnerabilities on the critical assets, helps you to reduce the mean time to remediate and first target on critical vulnerabilities. Also the high risk business critical assets helps me to plan focus remediations and go and fix these assets on priority. So again, this is one of the beautiful widgets which actually use me very concrete information wherein late use me. This is the number of highly vulnerable assets from my overall high value assets, which helps you to focus to create focus, effective and efficient remediation plan that indirectly helps you to reduce the overall cost of remediations. This is a high risky business critical assets trend, which clearly shows in my organization there is a spike in terms of high risk business critical assets, which overall increase my overall true risk scores of my organization. Again, the true risk distribution based on the assets and vulnerabilities, which actually gives me a very clear numbers on which based on criticality and severity or severe assets, wherein I need to go and I need to work on first to reduce the overall risk posture of my organization. So here I just need to concentrate first on 208 assets, and then here I need to concentrate on 161k critical vulnerabilities only. And here you can see the assets wherein the Qualys patches are missing. Again, the asset criticality, high risk vulnerable vulnerabilities, and this is another a very important widget which actually provides me the visibility into the critical and high risk vulnerabilities who have the medium, low or CVSS score. If you planned your remediation process based on the CVSS score, then you might be missing these critical vulnerabilities. So let's go into details of this critical QDS. Why Qualys is saying it is risky even if the CVSS score is medium or low. So I have run the filter, and here is one of the example. Let's go into this details of that particular widget, particular QID. So here we can see able to see the QDS score, which is called the detection scores, and which gets evaluated based on the Qualys vulnerability scores, and Qualys vulnerability score is associated at every CVE, and which is evaluated based on the external threat and exploit intelligence factors derived from 25 plus unique threats and exploit intelligence sources such as Metasploit, Canvas, CISA, known exploits, and even GitHub, which has increasingly become the go-to place to publish exploits. So in case wherein there are multiple CVs associated to QIDs, we are considering highly contributor CVEs. So let's go back to the QDS details, and here we can see this is one of the highly contributing CVE. And if I go into details, the CVSS score is 5.6, and it is associated to 10 malwares, and also it is exploit weaponized POC exploit is available, and the critical important thing here is trending, which is recently trending, which is on Jan 27 2023, which make it more critical. And this is the view which CVSS score lags, and that is the reason why Qualys is making the TruRisk is actually making it more risky or critical, which helps you to focus on critical ones irrespective of the CVSS score. It is medium or low, and only concentrate on the threat factors. So let's go and let's see from the asset point of view as well. So wherein like we'll refer to the same assets through which we have referred earlier based on the criticality. The criticality is already higher. We know why it is 5 has been set, and let's understand how the TruRisk gets evaluated for this asset. So if I click here, then here you can see that it is business critical because it is the production environment assets, and it is running on banking service critical applications. And then in terms of asset risk posture, it is also been detected by ESM scans and also insured, and this is also external facing asset. And like this is the risk formula. So this is the old formula because this asset is not been is not scanned now recently. But having said that, I have taken this example because you might be able to see the old formulas in your in your environment. So however we have made a few improvements in the new formula that I'll showcase also. But having said that, here you can see here the risk scores for this asset is already high even if you go with new or old formula. So the old formula was asset risk scores and the weighted average for the critical QDS scores, and also the weighted average for the high QDS scores on medium, and as well as the weighted average of the low QDS scores. So let's go and let's quickly see the latest formula, how it looks and how it gets evaluated. And basically the major improvement is like we are including the external facing assets or external facing factors into the formula. Like if you see here, the number of vulnerabilities, the critical vulnerability is higher, than the score will be higher for that particular asset. And also the as I said, the external facing is been weighted. So if it is external facing, then 20% higher will be 20% higher. It will be 20% higher than the internal assets. So if you see here, even if we for the previous asset, even if we go with the new formula as well, the scores will be treated as 1000 only. Right. So let's understand how the TruRisk helps you in terms of remediation process as well. So the VMDR prioritization helps you to prioritize and deploy patches for high risk vulnerabilities by providing a risk-based view and defaulting it to the critical detection scores and as well as the critical assets as well. The Qualys VMDR 2.0 and Qualys TruRisk and Qualys patch management can help streamline and automate the patch management process by providing the risk-based prioritizations of vulnerabilities and mapping them to the appropriate patches. The prioritization report allows you to view all the prioritized vulnerabilities and their correlated patches, and then you can create the new patch jobs or add to the existing patch jobs for the individual vulnerabilities, or you can do it in bulk as well. So like for example here in terms of prioritization reports, it is only asking me to prioritize only like 32% prioritize assets, and 15% the detections, wherein only like 654 unique detections are there, and out of which 273 unique for 273 detection the patches are already available. So this is a vulnerability tab, provides you the unique vulnerability detections, and also you can you can see the patch available by the Qualys patch management. So if you have Qualys patch management, you can create new jobs, and you can create new job, or you can add it to the existing batch jobs to patch it. And also in terms of patch tab, you can go and you can see the missing patches, shows the number of QIDs associated that will get fixed with this particular patch, and also you can show the how many assets it is missing, and you can create the patch job from here itself to go and fix it. And also in asset view, you get the you get the assets and the missing patches. That helps you to understand what patches are missing, on how many patches are missing for that particular asset point of view. So it is important to have automated patch management process in place to ensure the vulnerabilities are remediated in timely and efficient manner. So the proactive patch management can help you further speed up the remediation process. So the Qualys patch management allows you to automate the patch management process by creating a zero touch automated patch job that will automatically execute as soon as the new vulnerability has been detected. So it based on whatever conditions you defined. Like I'll give you an example of, like, if a new or high quality detection score has been detected, then the patch job will get executed on that particular QIDs. Like for example, if I go here, I have created this, so wherein you can see here in terms of select patches. So here there are the manual patches or automated patches. In terms of given the condition as if it is greater than 90, then the patch jobs will get executed on all the critical vulnerabilities which has been detected here for that particular particular asset. So so this is how like it helps. I hope you enjoy the demo. So let's go through a few of the benefits. So a continuously improving threat database and Qualys cloud platform for detailed threat intelligence and informed response helps you to secure from the ransomware. Faster threat response, accelerate mean time to remediate by removing manual inefficient workflows that requires you to correlate data from disparate data sheets from silo tools, from silo IT tools and security tools that slow down the response to remediate the critical vulnerabilities, exposing organizations to unnecessary risks and increase mean time to remediate. Qualys cyber risk for organizations and board, the security teams lacks the context to identify which part of the business are exposed to high risk and what steps that needs to be taken to reduce risk. And once the steps are taken to reduce the risk, it's difficult to measure by how much the risk was reduced over time. It also not trivial to communicate risk across the organization without requiring deep technical understanding of the risk. The Qualys TruRisk makes it easy to set up and use through user-friendly interface. Sign up for no-cost 30 days trial to try out the Qualys TruRisk. Once you sign up, then Qualys will create a subscription for you with the TruRisk service. If you have an existing subscription, then on the existing subscription, TruRisk will get enabled, deploy the sensors on your assets and get the details of their assets, and the scan will be performed and the TruRisk will get evaluated for that asset. If you are existing customers, if you're existing VMDR customer, then TruRisk will be enabled by default. And as explained in the webinar, you can configure the steps and leverage the TruRisk and implement the risk-based vulnerability management in your ecosystem. Reach out to your account manager if TruRisk is not enabled, and if you're VM customers, then upgrade to VMDR to leverage the TruRisk. To operationalize the TruRisk, for additional details, you can refer to the following resources and implement risk-based vulnerability management in your ecosystem. Thank you.